I heard a man tell this story the other day, and it amazed me in many ways. Not only what happened, but as he told it, his eyes watered and his voice trembled. This experience was written on his heart forever. He's a man brought to his knees by alcoholism and brought down very hard. Those around him had noticed the alcohol in his breath, saw it in his eyes, and in all his actions. And they watched the struggles he had with it, as it slowly took everything away in his life. He did finally get help to sober up and then went home, and tried to stay sober pretty much on his own. Without the help of others and the help of God, he was soon very uncomfortable and getting pretty restless. He and his wife had been told to have orange juice and candy around the house for times when the urge came, as this would settle his nerves. This particular day, he was on edge, so he left his office upstairs and went down to get some orange juice, and when he opened the refrigerator, there was no juice in there. And he thought, well, I know where there's some candy bars. He went to the drawer, and there were no candy bars either. Checked all the drawers, and nothing. He shouted out to his wife, "Where's the candy?" and there was no answer. She had gone away to do something and left him home all alone. Now he was panicking, and he looked across the living room to the cabinet where he knew he still had several bottles of liquor. And he thought, the hell with it, I can't stand it. I give up. He took one step towards that cabinet, and then the doorbell rang. He turned back and went to the front door, opened it, and looked out. And there stood a little boy with a handful of candy bars, and he said, "Mister, want to buy some candy? My church needs fixing." This stunned him, and he said, "Boy, do I ever, young man." And he pulled out all the cash he had on him and gave it to him. The boy left. This man closed the door, and he stood there. He closed his eyes, and he thought, man, God really saved me this time. Why didn't I ask him for help before? He was really grateful now for his new life, his sobriety, and his sober breath. Well, where did that little boy come from? Many times in our lives, we wonder why that person showed up or that incident happened at the right time. And when we think back, it becomes a little bit clear that God is always here. Here's the song. He stood there full of fear, thoughts racing in his brain. Do I throw away my sober breath just to cover up this pain? Home alone with those old bottles he should have thrown away. No juice or candy to relieve what he craves. He'd already made up his mind, he's standing there insane. Then the doorbell rang, this little angel stood there. Said, "Mister, wanna buy some candy? My church, it needs repairs." He said, "I sure do, and you'll never know how bad." And he gave that little boy every dollar that he had. Then he closed his eyes, let out a thankful sigh, knowing God is here. Oh, that God is here. When his wife got home, he hugged her harder than before. Said, "An angel saved my life today, got a story to tell. But first grab all those bottles and pour 'em down the drain, while I hit my knees, thanking God for His grace. 'Cause the doorbell rang, His little angel stood right there. Mister, wanna buy some candy? My church, it needs repairs. And I said, I sure do, and you'll never know how bad. Then I gave that little boy every dollar that I had. Then I closed my eyes, let out a thankful sigh, knowing God is here. Oh, that God is here. That little boy came out of nowhere. It took me years to realize. That little boy came out of nowhere just to save my life. I said, I sure do, and you'll never know how bad. And I gave that little boy every dollar that I had. Then I closed my eyes, and I let out a thankful sigh, knowing God is here, knowing God is here. Close your eyes, let out a thankful sigh, knowing God is here, knowing God is here.